They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho.
And when you're down here with me, you float down.
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What's up?
What up?
Welcome back to Friday the 14th podcast. I'm one of your hosts, the bad guy, Nick H. The H is silent.
Yeah.
Silent. So, in today's stream, we're going to be talking silent. Like an ASMR video. We're going to do the whole thing in Amazon. ASMR. So today, we'll be reviewing my butthole, which is very scary. Why is this so relaxing? I feel very tingly inside right now. It's supposed to relax your butthole.
Hey guys, and I'm Mr. Fuentes. Nice to talk to y'all again. Man, when you skip a week, it feels like a whole month went by. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, sorry we didn't actually mention anything, but it was my fault. I got some things tied up, so I'm glad to be back here and to do a review on Nick's pick this week, or this show, which was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 remake, which I do want to point out when I was pulling up IMDb. Hey, I said it right. Anyway, that when I was searching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1974 trailer came up. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this. And I was like, I think that was the one we should have watched. Maybe we got to review that one in the future. Compare and contrast.
Review all of them.
All of them. Every horror movie in existence. Once we run out of horror movies, y'all the fans are going to have to give us those weird ones that only 3 people know about, and we'll have to review them.
See, we're just gonna go through all those horror movies and still trying to find a newer movie to review before Thanksgiving 3.
Yeah. Actually, Thanksgiving 3 is going to be the last movie we ever review on Friday the 14th. So that'll be our once you see that review, that'll be our closing our closing movie review. So, once you see it, it's been a pleasure, guys. It's been a pleasure. I really have appreciated, all of y'all that listen to this. Yeah, Thanksgiving 3, it's the end. It's there's no more after that. Yeah. Even when they're just gonna stop making horror movies after we review Thanksgiving 3, because they know as well it's the conclusion of everything. So
they're gonna be like, oh, we did have this once original idea. We're gonna have this pig, and it's gonna come to life, and it had I don't know, something stupid. A pig with a weapon. But we just got that off for Friday the 14th ending, so we gotta end it.
Exactly. The only horror movie they're allowed to make after the Friday the 14th ending with the review of Thanksgiving 3 is a making of Friday the 14th horror movie version.
The horror movie documentary. Who are these guys? Why did they start?
What did they do? Why did it start off with 2 guys and then start going to 2 different guys?
This is the multiverse.
Right. But yeah, I think that first one, I watched that trailer, and it was a creepy anniversary trailer. So it was 30 years. It was a 30-year release, or maybe it was a 40-year release of the movie, and it was a trailer promoting that, and it was just it was kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, the way they did the music and stuff, and the old school I don't know, it did look pretty creepy. I was just that one might have freaked me out more than the one I actually watched. I don't know. I guess I'll have to watch it later and find out.
We shall see. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free synopsis.
People get killed! Oh wait, Did I spoil it?
You spoiled the whole fucking thing.
Damn.
So, like unusual, like to look it up on the IMDb, what they have it written down as. It says after picking up a traumatized young hitchhiker, 5 friends, 5 guys. It was not 5 guys. 5 friends find themselves stalked and hunted by a deformed chainsaw-wielding loon and his family, if equally psychotic killers. Nah, shit. We're just checking it.
Yeah, that's the synopsis.
The snaps.
The synopsis. Synopsis.
Yeah.
We have this guy at work. His name's Kyle. But I like to call him Kyle. His name's Kyle.
Is he a killer?
No, he's Kyle. He's not
Is he
Kyle.
Lemonade?
Huh?
Nothing. Is he Lemonade?
Kyle.
Kyle's Killer Lemonade?
Kyle's killer. Kyle's killer lemonade. Kyle's killer. Dude.
What'd you got?
Like a murder theme like energy drink or murder theme alcoholic beverage, like Kyle's Killers.
Kyle's Killers. Yes.
That sounds pretty cool.
Just throwing ideas right here. I guess someone's gonna steal it off the podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, we already recorded it. It's pretty much trademarked.
It's
It's trademarked right now while we're talking about it. So I mean,
it's trademarked.
anyone tries to take it, I mean, dude, take our idea. Just you gotta split us. You gotta split us. What do you want?
I guess that
5% each, and you can have the other 90.
5%.
Yeah, they're gonna get into the hard work of making it. I mean, we can get 5% and not do anything except what we normally do. You're right, 10% each.
So spoiler-free rating. Spoiler-free rating. This is a remake movie. This is not the original. So for being at a remake, I still found it enjoyable compared to other films I've seen. This one was miles better than the Friday 13th remake, which we had reviewed on Friday 13th. You unfortunately weren't on that stream.
I was gonna say I don't remember reviewing that.
But I was saying, like, we as a Friday 14th crew, we did a special on that. But anyways, movie, I think it's a 4, but I do love the look of Leatherface in this movie. Like, he's like real beefed up and he's just terrifying. This was always like my favorite look of Leatherface. So I'm gonna boost up to like a 0.5 just for his overall appearance. And then there is another person who makes the movie cool also. What's his
His.
I was like, what? Did we not go through? We didn't even go through the cast first. We're just going straight to the spoiler-free rating.
Well, I was just gonna say it was the hot chick that made the whole movie.
Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Well, her too, but I mean, yeah, the sheriff, the actor, that guy is phenomenal.
That freaking guy, dude. I have a little bit to say about him
You have a little bit to say about him?
whenever it gets to that point.
But those are just some of the things, the spoiler-free things of the rating.
So my take was I really liked it overall. I mean, like I've said multiple times on this podcast, I'm not like a big horror enthusiast. Like I just watched movies growing up. My mom's actually I wouldn't say a big cinephile, but we used to always get movies from like Blockbuster and the movie gallery and what the hell else was there?
You're showing your age.
Yeah, pretty old. And then eventually Redbox and she'd always just get movies. Eventually Netflix came and I thought what was really cool before Netflix, I thought was like, you're pretty much your cheapest way to watch movies was Redbox. and Redbox would always have those B fucking movies, man. And you already watched like all the new ones like the first week, so you just like were like, oh, I still want to watch something. So mom would get the random ass B movie, and you would just like watch that. It's like a knockoff. Like there was a, you know,
It's always those
there was a
knockoffs of
movie.
like
I forgot what
not
it was, but basically it was like The Day After Tomorrow or something like that. And then there was The Day the Earth Stood Still. That was a whole like knockoff movie of that, Sharknado and stuff like that. Just a lot of dumb stuff.
the newer
Anyway,
knockoffs are like all based off like James Wan movies, like they're trying to make knockoff version of The Nun or Annabelle or that they released
yeah,
today.
man, I remember one time when the Legend of Hercules came out with The Rock. Um,
I never seen that movie.
I actually liked it. It was pretty enjoyable. But there was a movie that came out of Redbox the exact same time, but it was a knockoff movie. But my mom wasn't paying attention, and she rented that knockoff movie. So she's all excited. She thinks she's about to see The Rock, and then she like puts it in, and it starts, and it starts going, and it's like introduces like Hercules as this random ass guy who isn't The Rock, and about 30 minutes go in, and she's like, I don't think this is the right movie. Oh, like, Mom, what the hell? No, this is one of those knockoff movies, Mom. She's like, well, dang.
You could tell because he wasn't laying the smackdown on anyone's candy asses.
Yeah, pretty much. He wasn't. He could tell that guy didn't know what The Rock was cooking. He couldn't smell it at all.
So what's your rating?
Oh yeah. Anyway, long story short, I never really watched the first one. The first one I was introduced to was this movie that we've seen, and overall, I give it a 3.5.
3.5, huh?
It was pretty enjoyable. I didn't honestly. I went into this movie remembering that I saw it when I was younger. At some point, thinking like, "Oh, this is gonna be so freaking lame." I don't know why. I just never thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a good movie, as a movie I just watched to watch. And then I watched it, and I was just like, "Dude, there's so much going on in this movie." They did a pretty good job. I enjoyed it.
Well, before going into like talking about the movie itself, I mean, I kind of failed at my job here. Well, after doing the spoiler-free synopsis, I was supposed to kind of mention a few of the casts and whatnot. So, one of the main actresses in this movie is Jessica Biel, who plays Erin with the E. She was fun to look at. And if we're doing the hottest, who was the hottest? She was the hottest. But second hottest was Andrew Leatherface, the guy himself. How do you say his name? Bernarski.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I'll go with that.
I'm very famous at work for saying people's names wrong. So
yes,
in a wrong name world, yes, that was perfect.
And we have Mike Vogel, who plays Andy. We have Arlie Ermy, who is Sheriff Hoyt. Rest in peace. Lauren German, she plays teenage girl.
I don't know. I think she's in the rating for hottest girl in the movie.
So they're saying that she's taking Leatherface's spot. So
it's really close.
Just really Jonathan Tucker, who plays Morgan, Eric Bolfer Camper, Erica Learshin Pepper. Then we have David Dorfman, who plays Jedediah, was the little kid. Terrence Evans, Old Man Monty, the perverted old man in the wheelchair. And Marietta Marich Ludame. And I could go more into who else came out in the movie, but I don't know. I'm just not gonna do that.
Apparently, the
Unfortunately,
guy who narrated in the beginning was the exact same narrator of the 1974 version, who narrated that movie as well.
it sounded very familiar.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and who is it? The girl that played Pepper, Erica Lear Hansen. She was screaming so loud during the shoot or the screen testing that people in other parts of the building thought someone was being attacked, and they called the police. That's pretty funny.
Fun facts.
Yeah, let's jump into this.
Well, spoiler warning. Go check it out now. What?
Oh, I was gonna say spoiler warning. So
spoiler warning. Oh, spoiler.
I don't even, like I know we do this out of courtesy, but come on, man. It's 2003, bro. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. See how much cinema has evolved in the last 18 years. Anyway,
go check it out on HBO Max. Or of us who stream movies.
Definitely.
So, what was the scene? What was it? What was your favorite scene? What was your least favorite scene?
I think one of my favorite scenes that I really like was like, I have to tell a story to get to my favorite
story time.
So in the very beginning of the movie, you get like, kind of like a soft introduction of all the characters and their personalities in a sense, and kind of what's going on. And you can tell they're off to a Skinner concert, which, by the way, they were playing Sweet Home Alabama and singing the Sweet Little Alabama on April 7th, 1973, when Sweet Home Alabama didn't actually come out till June 6th, 1974. So, another fun fact. But they were driving, and you could tell like it, the scenery in a sense was like happy, happiness. Hey, we're about to go to a fun concert all together and stuff. And then they pick up the hitchhiker, and then the tone kind of comes down as soon as you pick up this girl who's obviously traumatized, and they're trying to talk her down, and they're trying to like, hey, we're about to go to the Skinner concert, and she's being very ominous. And it's almost like the scene's almost like when you try to like put two things that don't want to mesh together. You got this very dark, ominous girl, and then you got these very like people who are like, okay, like, what do we do now? We got this girl who's very traumatized. Like, how do we fix this? And then, so leading to my favorite scene. My favorite scene is whenever the girl pulls the gun out of her vajayjay. And sticks it in her mouth and blows out her head. And like immediately, you can tell from the rest of the movie then on is like, all right, some serious shit's about to happen. Some serious shit's about to happen. And like it changes the whole scene from like happy light, kids to like, oh shit, now it's like survival kind of almost. They didn't really know they were about to be hunted, but at the same time it was just very very unfortunate, to be honest, what happened. I mean, they could have escaped, and
so, I mean, she even told them they're going the wrong way, and what they do, they went the wrong way.
They kept going the wrong way.
They made the wrong turn, but that's a different series.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of my favorite scenes. I think it was a really good cinematic. The director did a very good job of kind of like taking like the idea of what these people were like, basically kids who never really have experienced anything of this sort, more of like almost innocence in a sense. Anyway, all the timing. Man, I want to use that somewhere. Innocence, innocence, innocence,
That's a
innocence,
new song. Make sure I'm credit
innocence, innocence.
20%.
20%. All right, sounds good. And then having this girl who's obviously had her innocence taken away from her, but like you don't really know why yet, but you know that she's not innocent anymore. I wouldn't say defiled is a very wrong term to use, but you can tell that she, in a way, when you really think about it, she was more open to what was going on in the world. She had her innocence taken away from her, and by her blowing her own brains out, she like made these innocent people not innocent anymore. Like took away all their innocence and brought them into like reality of what the world's really about to be like for them. So she kind of did them a favor by blowing out her brains. The other thing that I don't want to say is my favorite scene, and you may have a particular scene you want to point out that you like from this character. But what I like to point out is how like horrible, horrific the sheriff's like dialogue is in this movie. Like anytime he says anything, it almost made me cringe every single time. And like I just like literally hated hearing words come out of his mouth because I was just like, ugh, like how could you say that? Like, oh my god, like it just like it made me crawl. But at the same time, I was just like, dude, like that's so amazing on so many different levels when you really think about that. That like the dialogue was enough to make your skin curl. Like, got curl, creep. I don't know the word. I guess curl is the word people use. Anyway, the dialogue makes you feel uncomfortable. And if dialogue can make you feel uncomfortable, then I think they're doing the horror part of the movie right. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was really cool how the dialogue was even enough to make you be like make your whole body cringe at like just what was going on. Like it was horrific in its own way. At least that's how I felt. I don't know if that's how you
felt. I love that whole just that whole conversation between him and what's his name? Well, the guy with the glasses. He makes him sit in the same area where the girl shoots herself, and he's like, "Well, show me how she did it." And he's like, and he's just there, and then this guy's just like pretty much like. He's like, no. But I like how he, even though it's like a blank, it's like there's nothing in that gun, but he still tries to go for the attempt at shooting. Was it Hewitt's? Sheriff Hewitt? And he's
I
like,
think so. Haltz.
Hewitt.
Hyot.
Yeah.
Hoyt. Haltz.
Hoyt.
He's so hot. Hoyt. Yeah.
He's like, well, what did you say? You killed the sheriff.
That was a murder of a police officer. Something like that.
It's terrifying, that scene. But I think it's revolving on the whole scene also when Leatherface pops up with just Jessica Biel's boyfriend. What is damn? He has his face. He's wearing his face. That scene is crazy.
Dude, that was crazy. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, whenever he's anyways when.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought it was they did a really good job for sure of remaking that guy's face to look like the other person's face.
He just wanted to be good looking. Right? This guy is deformed, so I mean, like, good. But it's like they don't like the slowly trying, like the little turn he does, and you just see it, see his face. It's like, oh man.
I don't want to say weird, but later on when you see his face, I don't think he's wearing the same face.
When the whole movie?
Yeah, like after that scene.
I think he probably just took it off. I don't know how many he found time to put the other mask on.
Right? Did you see my baldness? But yeah, I mean, They did, yeah. That was a really cool scene. You know, when it turns around, like it's like you almost expect it, but you don't. You know, I gotten really good at watching movies and like kind of suspecting like things that come out, and I'll like watch movies with some of my friends, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is about to happen." And you know, it's funny. The more I watch this one guy who talked about like in every story or every movie that's ever told, or you know, because movies are stories basically. Um, they've been like roughed down to only the essentials. So if there's a shotgun in Act One on the shelf and it gets shown, you know, as in passing, you know, in a movie, then in Act Two that shotgun is going to get used. So like I watch out for things like that now when I look at stuff, and I kind of felt I kind of knew part like you know 30%. I was like that guy's going to be wearing Leatherface is going to be wearing that guy's face, and but I was like there wasn't really too many hints, you know, hinting toward it, like just a couple of hints, but not really too many, and but yeah, when it happened, I was pretty surprised.
And another scene, of course. This is I feel like this should be everyone's favorite scene.
When the girl blows her brains out.
No, I mean that's one of them. But I'm talking about the Jessica Biel's ass, that close up,
Mm.
where she's going to the house. You know, just like it's pretty much like how the original movie was. Also, they zoomed up on the other girl's ass, but this was a different filter, darker mode.
Dude, that freaking I don't want to say it's my favorite scene, but I just thought it was hilarious that whenever that guy was down on the ground by the toilet and that girl Jessica was trying to help. What's her name? Erin was trying to help.
Her name's Erin. I'm just Jessica Biel.
Erin was trying to help him up, and she was like pretending to grab on her waist, but you could tell he was obviously
He's all reaching up on her,
like all over her ass, and it was just like, yeah, it was pretty funny. It's just like, dude, this guy's a straight perv.
He's
like,
a perverted old man. That's
yeah.
what he's credited as. Nah.
Right.
Aaron. But when I say Aaron, I just think of Senpai.
Mm. And then he can't perform anymore.
Do
all you do is, and then you can't do the podcast anymore because all you're doing is thinking of Senpai.
I was just thinking about him, then I was like, oh.
Speaking of senpais, so if y'all haven't already checked out the Cinnamon Movie Podcast,
Notice me Senpai.
y'all should check out Cinnamon Movie Podcast. They have they do movie reviews very similar to ours, except they do all genres, not just horror like us. Horror. Anyway, they don't just do horrors like us.
They don't just do horrors like us.
Okay. They do other genres from, you know, Marvel to Disney movies to everything down the line. Read the most recent two were they did Shang-Chi from the newest Marvel movie that came out in theaters. I actually personally hear a lot of good things about it, and they reviewed that as well. So, you know, check it out if you want to know a little bit about that. And then they did Promising Young Women the time before. So check that out. You know, I think they give pretty good reviews, and it's pretty, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. They also do a series that's on Mondays, the one I'm talking about. They also do a series where they kind of do like what's it? Not anthology, but just a series of series usually. Before it was A24 films. Right now they're doing Friday the 14th. That's us. Friday the 13th films, and they're all the way up to part 5 that got recently released. Actually tomorrow, or actually we record this on a certain date, so they should have actually part 6 coming out by the time you hear this. Unless you're watching this live, then you'll hear it tomorrow. Don't think too hard on it, guys. But yeah, I mean, check them out. They're awesome guys over there. at Cinema Movie Podcast. You can find them on Facebook at Cinema Movie Podcast. You can find them on Instagram at Cinema Movie Podcast. And you can find them at Cinema Movie Podcast being Cinema Movie Podcast. Cinema Movie Podcast. So do you have any least favorite scenes?
Least favorite scenes. Least favorite. Okay.
I have one if you have to think about it.
Least favorite. I don't know. I mean, I guess just that the scene with the old ladies. The trailer.
Oh, where they go inside the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that really enjoyable.
See, and at this point, it'd just be me nitpicking. Like the little kid, you could tell his teeth were fake. They were just shoved in his mouth, looking all
shoved in his mouth.
looking all like it was just
He
like
was candy corn.
Yeah, he had like a you could tell he just had extra. Like when you go to the store and you buy those $1 freaking Hillbilly Teeth things and you put them in, everyone can tell, you know, obviously because one, they look plastic, but two, your upper lip kind of gets a little more bulgy and you can't really talk very well. You could, I don't know, something similar was going on with that kid. They were like, here, put this in your mouth and try to say things every once in a while. And that kind of annoyed me. I don't know why. Like, because they did a really good job on Leatherface's costume and everybody else's stuff.
They couldn't afford anyone else.
They were just like, nope, you get these Hillbilly Teeth we found for $1 at Dollar General. That kind of annoyed me. And then so there was a scene that was like, okay, so it's a scene where it's not that I don't enjoy the scene, I enjoy what I think they were trying to do with the scene. But there's a scene where, you know, Erin gets captured finally at some point, and then she gets put, you know, in the basement, and she finds one of the guys. I don't really know which guy. I think it might be Jonathan Tucker. It might be Morgan. Possibly. Anyway, so, you know, he's hanging from a meat hook basically over a piano. And, you know, basically, you know, Jessica tries to help him off the hook, you know, tries to help pull him off the hook. And, oh, man, that made me cringe a couple of times. Because every time he went up and just slammed back down, like, you just know that hook in his back just went deeper. And, like, that shit had to hurt so much.
So it wasn't off the hook.
Huh?
What? No,
Oh.
I was like, so it wasn't off the hook.
No, it was on the hook.
It was on the hook.
So anyway, so, you know, there's a scene at some point and he, you know, he has his head, you know, against like the wooden thing, and he kind of has his arms almost like Christ-like, or like, you know, almost like, you know, like he's hanging on the cross. And the way they did, if you pay attention, the way they did the lighting above his head kind of makes it look like there's a crown over his head. And so anyway, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're kind of trying to do some kind of like Jesus metaphor, you know, something. But I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, well, what's the metaphor? Like, he's not really reborn. Like, he's gonna die. He's not gonna be reborn in 3 days, I don't think. So, like, you know, is this redemption for something? You know, is he redeeming himself in a sense? Like, you know, and then the girl has to kill him. And then, you know, so then I'm like, well, maybe this is like kind of something like trying to say a metaphor of like reborn happening. You know, she kills him, and then she becomes more, she kills the old her by killing him and becomes a new her that can survive. Leatherface now, because before she didn't even want to, like, you know, I think it said something earlier in the movie where basically she was like, I would never kill this person, or I'd never do that, or something like that. And then, you know, eventually she has to kill her friend. I don't know. I tried looking at it and I was like, this is kind of a confusing Jesus Christ metaphor. And the only like reason that I like dislike it, because I'm like, look, if you're gonna use something, like, do it right. And then at the same time, I was like, well, maybe it did its job. Maybe it was someone else who noticed it, who was very sensitive to stuff like that, would be very offended. So it makes them angry. So it did its job. It provoked feeling by you just seeing something like it. But I don't know. I felt like that was lazy, like writing. Like it was a cool little scene, but it was also kind of like lazy as it didn't really do anything. When you use Jesus Christ on a cross for most things, it's kind of supposed to be a metaphor for like being reborn or something, or death to be reborn, and there was nothing like that there. It was just death, no reborn.
They did it because there's gonna be a sequel, and then they just scrapped it off.
Right?
Opted out for the prequel.
He was gonna come back and fuck everyone up from the dead.
What's going on? Now, I guess that would be another least favorite. Whenever he asked Aaron to kill him, but instead of going for like the neck area or whatever, she goes for like the the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, it's like, kill me, don't make me suffer worse.
Right? Like I saw that shit too, and I was just like, dude, that stab wound you just gave him was definitely not gonna kill him. Like you need to aim a little higher. Like your heart's in the middle of your chest for the most part. I don't know, most people don't know that or think that. I always think it's like on the left side or right side, but it's actually more like in the middle. And actually, when you feel your heartbeat, it's because the ventricle, your heart's kind of tilted a little bit. So the ventricle on the left side or something beats on the top. So it makes you feel like your heart's on this side, but really it's more in the center. Anyway, she needed to aim for the center. That's all I'm saying. Or up the ribs, like up from the soft part up. Yeah. Don't ask me how I know these things.
How do you know these things?
I murder people.
You murder people?
What? Who said that?
I don't know. I heard from somewhere.
He really does.
What?
Does
Anyway.
that was the favorites and least favorites. I feel like I gotta mention that scene with the chase going on and Leatherface tripping over the damn barbed wire fence. Had me giggle like a little girl. He's oh, oh. But somehow this fucker managed to get back up on his feet and no sells that trip, and he catches up with Aaron to the meat factory.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy scene too. A scene I want to say, like I swear, like when I say criticism about any movies, I don't know if I could do any better. Let's just put it that way. But in that take being taken, so whenever she gets picked up, after she basically chops off leather or defeats Leatherface in a sense,
Defeats
and leaves, where they were at, and she gets on the road. She gets picked up by a truck driver, and the guy's trying to drive, and she starts acting exactly how the girl they picked up earlier. He's like, "Oh, don't go that way!" And start trying to grab for the wheel and stuff like that, and everyone's freaking out. And I was just like, "Okay, I see what they're doing here. Basically, they're showing, the evolution of like she was a normal, sane girl, and now she's acting just like the crazy girl they picked up from the beginning of the movie." But I just thought it was kind of lame. I don't know. Like, I thought it was lame because, like, I don't want to say any illogical. Obviously, I've never been in a situation like this where I'm being chased by a person who has a chainsaw and masks of other people on their face. But
happens to me all the time.
Some of us have more life experience than others. But, you just don't think you do the exact same thing that made you and your friends start to like freak out to begin with to somebody else in a truck. Like, your only way out is this guy's truck. Maybe even trying to softly explain to him, like, please, Like, whatever you do, please don't stop in this town. Like, please keep going. Like, I can explain it to you, I swear, but like, you can't. No, instead,
So you're crazy, and then he ends up stopping at the
yeah, and that guy's
market,
probably fucked now too.
the store, meat market area.
Maybe not. I mean, I think the worst two people were probably incapacitated by the time she left the town. So I guess that worked out in the truck driver's benefit. But yeah. So you really don't have any like least favorite scenes? Just a scene that made you laugh really hard?
Well, there was that. Well, at least her scene was really just when she goes for the attempted kill to her friend.
Oh yeah,
And
you're right.
The
Okay.
stomach. Yeah, that was
Gotcha.
probably the main one.
I gotta type it.
So you got any slogans for this movie?
So this slogan for this movie is inspired by a true story. There was no anything else besides that.
What was the slogan for that? How was that it?
Yeah, there's no slogan for this movie.
The
The scariest film in years? You want scary? This is scary?
This is scary. Scary.
Oh, this was made by Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
There wasn't even that many. Oh, here we go.
No
What you know
explosions.
about fear doesn't even come close. Was this really directed by Michael Bay?
Yeah. I think he also did the remake of Friday the 13th, if I remember correctly.
I think so too. They're like, look, you did a mediocre job, or you did a pretty good job at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's give you another guy who wears face things with giant knives, and I'm sure you'll do great. And then he did. It says Marcus Nippel is the director.
Yep. Probably producer.
I don't see Michael Bay's name anywhere. Huh, that's weird. That's weird that's in these like pictures of shit. You know, it says Michael Bay's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Anyway, you got any slogans?
Slogans.
I got one. Oh, I'm waiting for yours.
Oh, you're waiting for mine.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If they tell you you're going the wrong way, you're going the fucking wrong way.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mask on.
Mask on.
Not mask off. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't trust the sheriff.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We need more ass shots.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We got Jessica Bell. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. Vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom. Chainsaw Massacre. Unlimited. What was it? Unlimited fuel or gas.
Right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't trust the hillbillies.
Never.
Ever.
Ever. They want to get high.
Are you asking me? We're doing a podcast right now.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They want these kids wanted to get high.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That song hasn't been released yet.
I don't know.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You're all gonna die.
They pretty much all almost did. Jessica was just the only one, the last woman standing.
She's like, okay. I'll let the old man grab my ass if you let me live at the end.
Deal.
Can I give her my deal? I mean, I'll give her a deal. My deal.
Wink, wink. How would you have ended this movie?
I would have liked something very similar to have happened to what happened at the sheriff at the end, except more brutal or like in your face. Like I would have liked for her to pull the gun out of. She takes a sheriff's car, right?
Yeah.
I would have liked her like pull the shotgun out of the sheriff's car or something, and shoot the sheriff, shoot the other two people, and then just like leave. I would have liked to see more of them die. And even when they get, he gets ran over, like you don't really know he dies. You just know he got ran over. Like you don't really see any of these kooky, crazy people die. Like they technically all live, and the only people that die are all the people that are the not heroes, but the
the heroes, the good guys.
Yeah, I guess you call them good guys. The more you think about it, it's like in
Good
horror movies don't really have protagonists and antagonists, kind of. I mean, I guess they do. I guess protagonists. You don't really have a good guy, bad guy situation, really. You just have like normal, shitty people and just worse people. Or just normal people.
In the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would have her shoot the sheriff instead of the
or
run
even
over.
kill Leatherface. Like, like it's cool what she did a good feat. Cool. Chopped off his arm. Whatever. But like it would have been cool to actually like have murdered the killer, after all these stuff that's happened. But I also get it. Can't murder an icon. Look, just because Jessica Biel's hot doesn't mean she gets to kill Leatherface. I get it, guys. I get it.
That's part of the deal.
I'm just saying. Just saying. What's that meme where the lady's neck is like?
But yeah,
Just saying.
The sheriff gets run over. She goes
Sheriff
reverse,
got ran over by a reindeer.
and reverse, and then going forward.
Sometimes I think about stuff like that.
How did Leatherface? He had only one arm, but he was still carrying on the chainsaw. So how the hell did he turn back on?
His teeth.
Oh shit! He's gonna get like an arm from Wakanda. He's gonna be like Bucky Barnes.
He's gonna get vibranium. Is it vibranium?
Does vibranium arm?
No, vibranium chainsaw.
Oh, he's gonna get vibranium chainsaw instead of the arm. Who needs an arm?
Basically, that's how I see it. He's gonna walk into a room and there's like an arm that's able to adapt to anyone's skin cells, like attach perfectly, and then next to that, the chainsaw made of vibranium, or a regular chainsaw made of vibranium chains, and he's just gonna like pick that up instead. That's how I see this movie going.
As far as how I would have ended it. So yeah, I mean, she kills Sheriff. Whenever Leatherface is about to, he's standing right there. She gets out of the car, and she tackles him down, starts beating the fuck out of him.
The chick
Then
does?
she grabs it. Huh? Yeah, Erin's character. Well, yeah. She gets out of the car. She goes, tackles him, tackles him down, and she starts beating him down. She takes a chainsaw, cuts the other arm off, and it dries off.
You would just cut off the head and
No.
just gonna let them just lay there armless.
Armless.
Hey,
Yes.
guess what? He's unarmed. She really disarmed him.
In the sequel, they make his arms out of
Two chainsaws.
the pig meat, or they can do like he took inspiration from Ash.
I was gonna say Ash sees him like, I like your style.
I mean, but Ash's head more like a hand. I mean, this guy has to have a fucking something more extended, so like he had to use like the meat from like pigs or whatever.
So I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking about when we were shouting out Cinema Movie podcast. That they just did a review for Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie that came out, and it's just like, there are a lot of people who, like, I wouldn't say hate spoilers, but there are a lot of people that hate spoilers. Like, just they're like, I don't want to know anything about the movie until I go see it. And it's just like, I can respect that view, but also, we could sit here and talk about a movie all day. We could talk about a girl blowing her brains out. We could talk about a sheriff talking filthy and making
an old man being pervert.
Old guy being a pervert, and a guy making another guy feel uncomfortable by telling him to put a gun in his mouth in the exact same spot that a girl killed herself and shot her head earlier in the movie. But you really don't like experience that experience until you actually like see it. Like you hear it and it's just like, okay, she blows her brains out. Like, dude, you need to see the scene where she blows her brains out, because she blows her brains out and then you see like through her mouth and through her head out through the other, like you see the people on the other side of that gunshot wound, and it's a really cool scene. It really is.
Nice treats. It was visual magic.
And unless you like see it, it's not really that cool. Like, you can imagine it, I guess, but like these movie people took time out of their life to make it look as realistic as possible, to make it something cinematically, visually pleasing.
They give me pleasure.
So if you were to go watch the review of Shang-Chi, I hope I'm saying this right. Anyway, which was poorly promoted and people still loved it, and I'm gonna go watch it this weekend, I think. They could tell you this or that happens in the movie, but you're never really gonna know if it's really a cool movie unless you go watch it. So what I'm trying to get at is, don't be such a prude, bro. Like, yeah, I'm saying spoilers are spoilers, sure, but sometimes you just gotta go watch the shit, man. And even though you think it's a spoiler, even though you think you know what's gonna happen, it's still gonna be really cool when you see it.
It's like, please don't spoil it. I'm waiting to like 15 years later to watch it.
Damn it! I've waited 18 years of my life not seeing this movie. You're just gonna spoil it for me all of a sudden?
Damn! What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What am I waiting for?
But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I went into that rant. What were we talking about before?
To be honest, I'm not even quite sure what you're ranting about the whole time. All I could think was Jessica Biel's nice smile.
Oh, what I was gonna get at was how
man,
these movie people do a really good job of like trying to bring the movies to life. And you brought up Ash, and it still brings a very sore spot that Ash was supposed to be in Freddy freaking versus Jason. Part 2 was supposed to be Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. That's what part 2 was supposed to be. And I don't know why. I read something about it. They just couldn't get it to work, or what happened. They did make a comic book series that went after Freddy versus Jason, what happened, and you could actually look for it on YouTube. Some guy goes through the entire book with some pictures and stuff of it, and pretty much goes through the entire comic and kind of like lets you know what happens. But it's really, really like it really would have been fun. Definitely would have changed the vibe of Freddy versus Jason, because anytime you throw Ash into any type of film, he's he's kind of like a comedic relief type of person. So I just really can't imagine the mesh between Freddy being a comedic relief, Jason being Jason, and then Ash in the middle of all this. Like, yeah, I feel like you would have got some witty banter from both Freddy and Ash, like off of each other. That would have been fun. But by the way, I heard that in Doctor Strange, the Madness of the Multiverse that's coming out, which is technically supposed to be a horror movie, or it's supposed to be Marvel's first attempt at a horror movie type of superhero horror movie. That's what I heard in the very beginning. In the very beginning. I don't know if they changed tracks, but that's what I heard from the very beginning. And about maybe, I don't know, sometime, maybe last year at some point, there was a script that Ash was going to be a cameo in Doctor Strange and the Madness of the Multiverse.
Well, because of Sam Raimi.
Yes, maybe.
Yes, maybe. I mean, that's the big tie-in. Sam Raimi's directing.
Oh, yeah, and he's doing the new. Is he doing the Spider-Man one too? The No Way Home?
No, I think he's doing.
He's just doing the Multiverse of Madness, or
Yeah.
the Madness of the Multiverse. Yeah, so basically, from the looks of it, Doctor Strange is going to be jumping through portals or something to different cinematic or different universes or multiverses, and one of them he's going to jump in and meet Ash for a second and then jump back out. Which, if I never knew that and I didn't see it, I would have thought would be really cool. But it's just going to be really epic to see it on the big screen, when it does happen. Again, it kind of somewhat spoils a little bit, but I know when I see it, it's going to be like, dude, they really made it happen, and that was so cool.
I mean, Bruce Campbell's been making cameos for a good while.
You know what? Stop
Came on
trying to
all three
downplay
Spider-Man
my
movies.
fun, all right? All right, I'm tired of you. Tired of you downplaying my excitement.
Tired of me being a bad guy, huh? You always make me feel like I'm the bad guy.
You are the bad guy. You're the bad guy, Nick H.
They just said
it. Exactly. All right. What else do we got, bro? Is this the closing statements or what?
That was your closing statements.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we would have ended it.
We the people, in order to serve a more perfect union. Oh.
So just to recap, Leatherface gets his arms chopped off, both off, and he gets to live both with his arms chopped off.
He gets successfully disarmed.
Sorry. Disarmed, yes. To make that to a shirt. Yeah, that was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
That was
it. So, and do you want to close out with this?
Sure. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Like I said, me and Nick always love doing this, so thank you all for giving us the opportunity to talk to y'all and rant about dumb things that come up onto the top of our heads, or mostly mine and Nick's reactions to them. I appreciate that. Makes me feel better. Thank y'all for tuning in, and if y'all want to check out some music, I'm actually, and look, I've said this, I know I've said this so many times, but I'm finishing up my album now, a sneak peek. It's finally almost freaking done. It's almost freaking done. Anyway, I'm finishing it up now, so hopefully that will be, I'll give an official release date sometime very soon. But you can check out my current music I have on and some of the singles off Sneak Peek on Spotify,
Ooh.
Apple Music, and anything you listen to streaming wise, just like probably even this podcast, same streaming network. You probably will find Mr. Fuentes there, Mr. Fuentes, Mr. Fuentes. Also, if you want to follow more of me outside of the Friday the 14th world, you can follow me at Mr. Fuentes 361 at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans.
No shit. You know they're taking off of that you can't do any more nudes on that content, right?
They were, but they backed out because
What?
everyone got pissed off about it. I know Nick seems upset, but he's actually very happy.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I mean that was it. Thank you very much, guys, and we're gonna hand it off to this sexy guy.
Oh, are you pointing at you? What the hell? You have someone in your room with you?
That sexy guy.
Mm.
Oh, he's eating
Oh,
my
I
arm.
mean, since we're on the topic of your music, I mean,
Ooh, that's
leftover
a nice
pizza.
Leftover pizza CD. Leftover pizza. Such a genius. I don't know how you function around me, knowing you're around a literal genius all the time.
A genius.
Yeah, I'm Kanye, bitch.
You're Kanye, bitch. Look, it's autographed too.
Oh shit! To my Nick friend, Nick H.
To my Nick friend. Of course. You can follow me on the Insta and Twitter.
Or you can just hide in his bedroom and follow him.
You can follow me in my bedroom too. It's like one of those creepy images videos where it's a guy underneath the bed, or it's like what is that?
He's my longest follower.
I don't know if I should be thankful or terrified. I don't even know. I'm starting to get a little paranoid. But yeah, Nick H23 Darcy on Twitter if I ever decide to tweet stuff on that. Did you have a movie planned out, or were you gonna be busy for next?
Oh shit! It's my pick.
Your pick.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this whole time, right before we got onto this podcast, like literally right before we got onto this podcast, I thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre was my pick.
This guy.
And then we started it, and I was like, wait, I didn't pick this movie. And then I totally blanked my mind. I haven't done any research to see what movies, but I was actually going to ask you because next week. What's next week? Next week's the 13th?
That's
Friday?
Monday. 13th is Monday, I think. 14th. 15th.
The 15th, we skipped the first, so technically our 15th would have been our next one.
Then
I guess that works out kind of perfect because we can wait till the 22nd because after that, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be on tour and I won't be able to do the podcast, just for everyone else to know. But Nick could also reach out to his friends, our good old friends Manuel and Franco, and maybe they'll fill in for the next podcast.
Maybe not.
Maybe. Hey, you need to have faith. Faith,
gotta
man.
have faith.
But yeah, I mean, horror movies off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. You know what we could do? I recently watched. You want to do the Fear Street trilogy?
God damn it. The whole thing as a whole, or just one by one?
Well, I feel like they all go together because if you did one by one, I mean, okay, if we're gonna do only one,
like how many hours?
If you're only gonna do one, we could do the first one. I think that was probably not the funnest, but the coolest kind of one. But Fear Street altogether, I think was a good little watching all three of them. Yeah, we'll do part one. Fear Street part one.
Part 1 already.
Fear Street. What was that? 1997.
1997. I guess so. I can't remember.
Fear Street Part 1.
Part 1. We'll go Part 1. It was in the 90s. Part 2 was in the 70s, and Part 3 was
I think I'm gonna get a Shudder again. I think I want to start watching some of their originals.
originals. I mean, sounds like a plan. They're kind of running out of things.
Shudder is.
No, I was saying as far as like the main streaming services.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to start downloading Shudder, and if you're gonna be real horror fans, for us to check out some of the movies on there.
Some movies.
They do seem to have some pretty good movies. I mean, what was that, Summer of '84? That was a really good movie, like a really freaking good movie. I still think about it like a lot. If I'm gonna go back and re-rate that movie, it would probably be a 4.5 at this point.
I don't even remember your original.
What?
I don't remember your original rating.
I don't either, but I you know, the more I think about that movie, the more genius I think that movie is every time I think about it. It was a really good movie. It was your pick, right? It was a really good movie.
Pick.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. If y'all didn't know by now, it was a really good movie.
It was a really good movie.
And it's a Shudder exclusive, so you have to get Shudder to watch it. So Summer of '84, I would highly suggest it. It's a really good movie. If y'all didn't know by now.
You didn't know by now.
Can't bet that out. Can't bet that out.
Then watch our
anyway.
review after that.
What?
Then watch hear our review after that.
Here
I was
are
gonna say
reviews.
watch, but you can't watch it because we didn't even stream our faces. We were doing voice recordings back then.
Oh yeah, we were doing voice recordings back then, huh? You couldn't see all this.
Couldn't see his face. It's all hairy faces.
Dude, every time I watch that intro, I'm like, dude, look at that beardless sapling they used to call Nick.
Funny thing is, I mean, I've always grown the beard, just that there's different times where I just shave it off randomly.
Yeah. You know, this beard has got me places in my life. I didn't start getting more famous until I grew the beard, so.
So the beard made you famous.
Yeah.
You owe your life to that beard.
I don't know. I'm thinking about going bald. What do you think?
Whoa.
Then I could be like The Rock, man. Y'all can all kiss my candy ass. Or y'all's
Kiss my
candy ass. Well, yeah, y'all have the candy ass. It's not me. But
In case you
anyway.
didn't know, in case any of y'all know, I was the hottest ass in the brand.
You're the what?
I'm the hottest ass in the brand.
The hottest ass in the brand.
But yeah, I mean,
I mean-
my goals are pretty much. You can follow me in person or on those social medias accounts. Subscribe to the channel YouTube. Emo Swap Productions. We've been uploading that fire content as lately. Well, not me, but Franco and Resting Tacos. Getting that, doing some interviews and vlogs, highlights.
We should really plug in our friends' podcast more.
What friends?
Franco.
We have friends.
Yeah, we
But
do.
wouldn't that technically be me? I'd be plugging myself. Cheap plugs.
Maybe. I mean, it's not cheap plugs. It's another brand you do. Why would you plug it?
Stupid. Well, I mean, technically, the Emo Swap Productions channel is one whole thing. It's just that the people hearing, they gotta hear it on.
Oh yeah, I mean, Wrestling
yes.
Tacos is its own. That's like saying, oh, well, you go listen to Wrestling Tacos or Friday the 14th. It's the same podcast.
Anything with me, and it's the same podcast.
It's not the
But
same
anyways.
podcast. Go listen to Wrestling Tacos.
Wrestling. I've been the
Wrestling.
bad guy. I've been the bad guy in the cage.
And I've been
Thank you,
Mr.
bro.
Fuentes, Mr. Fuentes.
Thank you for hearing and viewing. Remember, folks, always bet on the bad guy. See y'all later.
Peace.